Do you think I will be in this village from January to December building house for you while you enjoy yourself abroad? Oluchi said to Chioma. But what about all the money sent to you while I was abroad? Chioma asked. I don't have an answer to that, Oluchi replied.
Chioma and Oluchi had always been close, more like sisters than friends. They shared their dreams, their laughter, and even their worries. Both young women were from modest backgrounds, but they had always dreamed of a life that offered more opportunity, more freedom, and more success. When they learned about the lottery visa, both saw it as their big chance. They both applied, hoping that fate would favor one of them. It was Chioma who won. The day she received the news, she ran to Oluchi, her eyes bright with excitement, clutching the letter in her hand. Oluchi's eyes widened in disbelief as she read the letter, and then, without saying a word, she threw her arms around Chioma. This is it, Chioma. This is your chance. You're going to make it. Oluchi shouted, her voice full of joy for her friend. Chioma smiled, a mix of excitement and nervousness filling her chest. I'll make it, but I won't leave you behind. I promise that when I settle abroad, I'll help you come too. And until then, I'll send money for you to build the house you've always wanted. Oluchi hugged Chioma tightly. You're my best friend, Chioma. I'll wait for that day. I know you'll do great things. With that promise, Chioma left for a new life abroad, and Oluchi remained behind, waiting eagerly for her friend's return. Months passed, and Chioma kept her promise. Each month, she sent money to Oluchi, just as she had promised. She made sure Oluchi was well taken care of, ensuring that her mother's health was looked after. In return, Oluchi kept showing her progress on the house via video calls. Each time, she would proudly display the construction site, giving Chioma hope that soon her dream house would be built. Though the calls were frequent, there were never any text messages. Everything about the house project was discussed over the phone. Chioma didn't think much of it at first. After all, Oluchi had always been trustworthy, and she trusted her friend wholeheartedly. She had no reason to doubt her. As months turned to a year, Chioma settled into her new life abroad. The money kept flowing, and she was happy to know that Oluchi was working hard on the house. She often imagined what it would look like when she returned home. A beautiful, newly built house for her mother and herself. A symbol of the promise she had made to her best friend. It was December when Chioma finally returned home. She couldn't wait to see the house that Oluchi had built. She had missed her old home, but more than anything, she longed to see her mother. When she arrived at the house, she was shocked to find that nothing had changed. The same old house that had stood for years was still there, looking as dilapidated as when she had left. Her heart sank. She rushed inside, where her mother lay on a mat, weak and barely able to speak. Mom, what happened? Where is the new house? Chioma cried, kneeling beside her mother. Her mother, barely able to lift her head, whispered weakly. Oluchi, she said. The house. She was building it. But nothing has changed. Chioma's mind raced. She couldn't understand. The money she had sent for the project, it should have been enough to at least make a dent in the construction. Why hadn't Oluchi followed through? She quickly pulled out her phone and called her friend. Oluchi, where is the house? I've been sending you money for months. Why is my old house still standing? And why is my mother in this state? On the other end of the line, Oluchi's voice was calm, almost too calm. Chioma, calm down. Why don't you come over to my house? I'll explain everything. Chioma's heart raced as she disconnected the call. What was going on? She had trusted Oluchi completely, but now she was beginning to feel like something was terribly wrong. She quickly made her way to Oluchi's house, hoping to find answers. When she arrived, she was taken aback. The house that Oluchi lived in was no longer the small, modest home Chioma had remembered. It was a sprawling mansion, the kind she had only ever seen in magazines. Expensive cars lined the driveway, and everything about the place screamed wealth and luxury. Chioma stood frozen at the gate for a moment, unable to comprehend what she was seeing. Had Oluchi really come into this much money? Oluchi greeted her at the door, her appearance completely transformed. She was dressed in high-end clothing, her hair styled perfectly, and her face radiated a sense of pride. She led Chioma inside, her movements smooth and confident. "Welcome to my new home, Chioma. I know it's a bit much, but I thought you'd be happy for me," Oluchi said, her tone almost too cheerful. Chioma's eyes searched the grand interior, still in disbelief. "Oluchi, where is the house I sent you money for? What happened to the money?" "I tell you," said Chioma. Oluchi laughed, a sound that made Chioma's stomach churn. "The house? Oh, Chioma, you've got to stop thinking so small. You see, I used the money for myself. I invested in my future, and now look at me." She gestured to the mansion around them. "This is my home now. And as for the house, well, it's no longer something I'm interested in. I'm doing just fine without it." Chioma's heart shattered as she stood there, unable to comprehend what Oluchi was saying. She had sent money for her friend's future, for the promise of a home and security for her family. But now, she realized it had all been a lie. Everything was a lie. "Oluchi, how could you do this?" Chioma whispered, her voice thick with disbelief. Oluchi smirked. "You should have known better, Chioma. Who do you think I am? Your errand girl? I used that money to set myself up. This house is in my name now, and there's nothing you can do about it." Chioma felt the weight of betrayal settle on her shoulders like a heavy burden. Her best friend, the one person she had trusted above all others, had taken everything she had worked for and turned it into something for herself. Chioma turned and left, her heart heavy with the crushing realization that she had been deceived. In the days that followed, Chioma struggled to make sense of it all. She had trusted Oluchi, but now she felt like she was living in a nightmare. The betrayal cut deeper than any physical wound could. She had always known that things could go wrong when money was involved, but she had never imagined it could happen like this. One evening, as she sat alone, she received a message from Oscar, a man she had met on Facebook a while ago. They had been chatting for months, and Chioma found solace in their conversations. He was kind and understanding, and they had grown close over time. She'd decided to reach out to him, needing someone to talk to. "Oscar, I don't know what to do. Oluchi, she's taken everything I had. The money, the house, everything. I don't know where to turn," Chioma confided. Oscar responded quickly, his message full of anger and concern. "Chioma, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. But don't worry, we'll figure this out. I won't let her get away with this." Together they made a plan to confront Oluchi, but Chioma had no idea that Oscar had a secret of his own. He had been in touch with Oluchi's boyfriend, and he knew exactly what was going on. Oluchi had been dating a man she had met at the estate cafe. He was charming and well-dressed, and Oluchi had quickly fallen for him. She did everything she could to make him happy, spending lavishly on him and showering him with gifts. But deep down, she wondered if he truly cared for her, or if he only cared about the money she had. One day, the man made a request that shocked Oluchi to her core. He explained that he had a contract worth millions, but in order to secure the deal, he needed a loan from the bank. The bank, however, demanded that he provide a house as collateral. His house was still under construction, and he asked if he could use Oluchi's mansion instead. Bellucci hesitated. But this house, it's not really mine. It was built with Chioma's money, the man reassured her. Trust me, babe. If this contract goes through, we'll both be set for life. I'll take care of everything. Just trust me. Bellucci, torn between her loyalty to Chioma and her desire for a future with this man, eventually agreed. She handed over the documents to the house, believing that if the contract went well, she would have everything she'd ever dreamed of. But Chioma wasn't finished yet. She had received an anonymous voice recording of a conversation between Oluchi and her boyfriend. In it, Oluchi confessed everything: the money, the house, the betrayal. Chioma knew this was her chance. When she confronted Oluchi, she played the recording. Oluchi froze, her face going pale. She knew she had been caught, but instead of admitting her wrongdoing, she pulled out a small pistol and pointed it at Chioma. "Put that phone down," Oluchi ordered. Before Chioma could react, the police burst into the room, surrounding Oluchi. They arrested her for attempted violence and fraud. Oluchi's world came crashing down as she was led away in handcuffs. At the trial, the truth came to light. It was revealed that Oscar had been working with Chioma all along, using his position to gather information about Oluchi's deceit. He had even been the one to send the voice recording anonymously to Chioma. As it turned out, Oluchi's boyfriend had been using her to get to the money she had stolen from Chioma. Oluchi was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Chioma and Oscar, now closer than ever, eventually married. Together, they made a new life for themselves abroad, bringing Chioma's mother with them for a fresh start. And for the first time in a long while, Chioma felt at peace. The story of Chioma and Oluchi serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of trust and the dangers of betrayal. Before entrusting your money or your dreams to someone, be sure you know them well. Don't let yourself fall victim to lies and manipulation, especially when you're far from home. Be careful with whom you trust, and never forget that sometimes things aren't always what they seem. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to Adebae Tales for more gripping tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat.